Welcome to a quick overview to our newest iVP planning release 2209. I want to quickly show you its newest feature, the Markup tool, which is really a part of a much bigger plan to give iVP planning its companion application, the iVP viewer. We will talk more about the viewer once it's actually released, but let's quickly say that it is a more stripped down version of planning where you can only see machines but not edit them in any way. With the exception of the markup tool, you will be able to create and edit markups both in viewer and planning. So the markup tool is really meant as the way to annotate things in your scene and communicate with customers, partners, etc. So let's create a markup by clicking this button here in the top and then clicking in either the 2D or the 3D view to place it. Let's also create a machine that functions as an example, and let's parent the markup here in the hierarchy to this machine. We still can move the markup independently of the machine now, but since I parented it, when I move the machine here, the markup tool or the markup will move with the machine. All right. What I now do to let everyone know what or why this markup is placed here is by filling out this description. Let's say this needs to be black. It has a high priority, let's say, and its status is of course still open. And since I am currently using iVP planning, the author will be the planner. All right. I'm also not satisfied with this color here, so let's change its color by pressing this icon and give it a yellow color. All right. So now I save my plan file and send it to a customer or a colleague, and he might have a question about this markup, and he can now use this conversation down here, which is a chat basically. He can here type in the reply field and say, "What do you mean?" Of course, this is just a stupid example. And maybe he noticed he has done a typo or wants to send him a different message. He can now also delete his message again. Now it's gone. Let's type it again. What do we... Oops. Yeah, now I did a typo. Right. Should have done this the first time. What do you mean? Okay. He sends the plan file back to the original creator, and he answers with an image now. So he presses instead the create shortcut button, and sending an image really happens in 2 steps. The first is the camera positioning step. So I now choose a perspective from which I want to take the photo. This one is good enough. And the second step is the paint mode. So I can draw over my picture now. Here I can change the color of the pen. Let's also choose a yellow and scribble over it. Then I decide I don't like this color. I use the eraser to erase part of it or undo everything altogether. I can also delete everything at once, choose a different color, and paint over it again. And here I can now post this image. All right. So I send the plan file back, let's say, and the receiver wants to view this image enlarged. So he can just now click here and he will be shown this image in the 3D view directly. And he can now also decide to draw over it by pressing this button. This here is basically just a shortcut. So we would, had we click this button, we would directly land in the paint mode. Okay, so now he or she can't erase the lines already drawn anymore, but it is possible to draw over them. So I choose now a different color, this one, draw something stupid and send it back. And now you see, we see both images. Okay, this already concludes everything regarding the markup tool. We did some more minor changes in the newest iVP planning release, but for them I relegate you to the changelog, which you can see over here. There are some minor bug fixes in machines and some other minor improvements. But for now, this is it. I thank you for listening and wish you happy planning.